Are you thinking about installing an irrigation system? Most people say it's the best thing they ever did for their home. It really frees up your time to do other things and keeps your investment in plants and grass alive. There's a lot that goes into a sprinkler system. First, you need water, so there's going to be plumbing. Then a valve box with electric valves to control the water. Then a sprinkler timer to control the valves. Then you need to install pipes to connect the valves to the sprinklers. And then the sprinklers have to cover all the areas evenly, and that's what makes an irrigation system. There are many different types of sprinklers, valves, and controllers on the irrigation market. Quality products are important to talk about, but before you talk about products and before you get quotes, it's a good idea to know a little about your area. After all, a sprinkler system uses water, and water can be scarce and expensive in different places around New England. For instance, if your home has a well, then you need to make sure that your new irrigation system works in conjunction with your pump and the recovery rate of that well, so the well will never run out of water and the grass still gets the proper amount of irrigation without waste. If you have a water meter and you're paying a water bill, your biggest concern is, how do I have a green lawn and keep my water bill under control? A system that's not installed correctly can use massive amounts of water. In this presentation, we'll go over some of the techniques that we use that can cut the waste, save money, and keep those wells from going dry. The first thing about a healthy landscape is the proper amount of irrigation evenly spread over the area, each blade of grass getting the same amount. It is this type of system that uses much less water. You may be surprised to know that each sprinkler in your yard depends on the sprinklers around it to cover evenly. Alone, they don't cover well at all. In fact, they cover perfectly uneven on purpose. Now you're going to hear a lot of people talk about head-to-head coverage, and it's important. And this video is going to show why. See, this view from the top right here, that little black dot in the middle is a sprinkler. Most in-ground sprinklers make a circle pattern. Now close to the sprinkler, the coverage area is small. As the water throws farther out, it's going to get drier and drier because you're covering more square footage of grass. The water droplets spread thinner and thinner as they travel farther out. Now that forms what looks like a wedge if you turn it sideways like this. That's the secret to saving all that water and getting that nice green grass. Head-to-head spacing, even coverage. Now, for example, this is a sprinkler layout probably done by a homeowner. Usually for price reasons, they don't use as many sprinklers. They cut a few corners, and we're going to show you where the weaknesses are in this layout. So what you're looking at here is a diagram of what the coverage looks like. The dark green areas are covered perfectly, and the yellow areas are not getting enough water. Now, in order to get that to all green up, we're going to have to overwater some areas. So we're going to run our timer longer and longer, and this is what happens. Unfortunately, we're stuck overwatering the areas you see turning black here in this video. There's your wasted money, and there's your well running dry if you've got a well. Now let's have a little fun with this and add a few sprinklers that are missing to see if we can't fix our little coverage problem here. Now you're still going to see some yellow areas here. It's not perfect. And this will cut the water bill quite a bit because we can green this up with this many heads. But if we really want to make it use the least amount of water, we're missing just a few sprinklers. Now to fix this layout, we need to add 5 more sprinklers, putting heads in all the corners, all head-to-head, all reaching each other in all directions. This is a standard, typical commercial irrigation system installed correctly for the lowest amount of water usage. We call it full coverage, and this is what you want if you really want to save some money. At Factor Irrigation, we specialize in water consumption control. We have systems out there that keep large lawns green and the well only makes 2 gallons per minute. That's amazing. And if you've got a water meter in your basement, you're interested in keeping that water bill down. And it's true, head-to-head coverage is important and you have to do it. But it's not the only thing to drop that water bill. For years, it was standard procedure to use a rain sensor in irrigation. That way, when it rained, it would shut it off. That's just not good enough anymore. Water's too expensive, wells are weak, there's not enough water. So we have to use something a little better, and that's what a soil sensor is. It goes in the soil and actually measures the rain and the sprinkler activity and reacts to it, tells that timer to stop watering. Something we haven't talked about yet is service. You know, a sprinkler system does require service twice a year. You got to blow it out in the fall, you got to start it up in the spring. Somebody's got to do it. So why make it a headache for you? How about a system that can be serviced from the outside of the house? No appointments are ever needed. That's what we do here at Factor Irrigation. Since 1995, we buy commercial controllers that can go on the outside of the building, and we set the plumbing up with an outdoor access so we can turn it on and off when we need to. You're guaranteed to get service every year. Another thing that makes Factor Irrigation special is for the last 7 years, we've been injecting cedar oil into sprinkler systems for pest control. I don't know if you know this or not, but you can control mosquitoes and ticks in your yard with natural pest controls. You don't need to use poison anymore. Cedar oil is what we like to use here, and it's the most powerful, all-natural pesticide that's non-toxic, smells great, and it's really affordable. It's called Autobug. Your sprinkler system will still work like it normally does, watering the grass at 2 o'clock in the morning. But 2 times a week at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll just go around and do a little cedar treatment. It's always there whether it rains or not, it'll always come on, and it keeps the bugs out of your yard using your sprinkler timer. It's ingenious. At Factor Irrigation, we stand behind our work and back every new sprinkler system with a 5-year limited warranty. Well, this video just touched on a few things you need to know to have a sprinkler system, and I hope you learned a little something. But there's so much more to talk about, so call today for a free estimate. I'll come out to your home, we'll measure it up, we'll check the water, and we'll design a system for your home and your home only. I'm Charlie Factor. Thanks for listening.